Wokeness is a virus. It's infectious. It destroys your brain.
Now we will defeat woke radicalism.
The wokeness is very potent.
This woke mindset virus.
The wokeness, this is all we should be talking about.
Woke ideology. Woke executives.
Florida is where woke goes to die.
This is what happens when you go woke. The saying is, you go broke.
That guy was going woke.
Wokeness. It is the boogeyman that Fox News, insurrectionists, and Republicans fearmonger with their voters to despise anything and everything they are against in the effort to erode public education in the United States.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
And for that, we turn to this guy's state, Alabama. But before doing so, recall Tommy Smith and John Carlos pictured here, reaching the medal stand at the 1968 Mexico Olympics. Like others who have followed, Smith and Carlos protested systemic racism, which was full of symbolism.
The right glove that I wore on my right hand signified the power within Black America. The left glove my teammate John Carlos wore in his left hand also signified Black unity. The scarf that was worn around my neck signified blackness.
One would think this is American history, sports history, that unfortunately remains prevalent today through a failed system. In Alabama, they thought otherwise. In schools across the country with Republicans in power, this is the site of many academies. Racist book bans catering to unfounded white fear. Fun fact, the teacher who took the video you just saw was fired. Darn cancel culture strikes again. Derrick Barnes, seen here on right, wrote the following book about Smith on left, which was titled Victory, Stand, Raising My Fist for Justice.
They all just go blah, 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 blah.
Conservatives in the area heard of this and did the following. Barnes, a New York Times bestseller, had his events canceled in Birmingham. He said it was political. The schools refuted him, saying it was a contract issue. However, they would later admit why. Because parents objected to his presence. Superintendent D. Fowler, pictured here, would spill the tea. An elementary school principal was contacted by a parent who alleged some of Barnes's prior social media posts contained controversial ideas. When local outlet WBHM asked for copies of the post, no one at the school system was able to produce it. Upon further inquiry, a spokesperson for the school system also admitted that no school officials had even seen the post. Barnes would call it cowardly and say, if you have an issue with Black authors or somebody that you may consider possibly indoctrinating your children, just say that. Don't come up with these excuses. That's when some parents, distraught by a fellow parent's unfounded claims, turned a negative into a positive. Hundreds came together to raise a portion of the $9,900 Barnes would have been paid for the events. Parents, teachers, and school board members signed a letter demanding transparency for the cancellation. Hoover is one of the most diverse school systems in the state. The district's website says educators are committed to meeting the diverse needs of students and remedying inequities. Clearly, they do not mean as they say. This all happened because in Alabama, the state's Board of Education adopted a resolution in 2021 titled Declaring the Preservation of Intellectual Freedom and Non-Discrimination in Alabama's Public Schools, which, according to the Legal Defense Fund, prevents educators from teaching the full and accurate history of racial discrimination and civil rights in Alabama and the United States. I would reiterate cancel culture here, but every Republican talking point feels like, at a minimum, just projection of their own wrongdoing. Misty Matthews' son attends one of the schools Barnes was supposed to visit. She is frustrated. If you looked at his books, they're not controversial, Matthews said. They just involve Black kids doing regular, everyday things. So to tell this author you're not welcome here, it really sends a message that I don't think Hoover City Schools should be sending, or that they want to send. Now, the parents would raise thousands since the canceled visit. They are supporting a charity of Barnes's liking and funded a book drive to distribute his work. I write about Black joy, Black freedom, Barnes said. And if someone was offended by that, I can't do anything about that. A librarian would go on to read Barnes's books in front of a room full of children. However, as Kent Haynes, a math teacher at Simmons Middle School, said to AL.com, "We all teach children who would benefit from the opportunity of meeting an author who looks like them and shares their cultural background and is a role model for them. This was such a great one of those opportunities that we've now lost."